Hello, Mechwarriors, and welcome to the Mechbay, where we fix your mech and fix your game. What's going on, Mechwarriors? I'm your host, Josh, and today I've got with me my co-hosts, Dustin and Denham. What's going on, guys?
Not much, just, hanging out, living the dream.
What about you, Denham?
Hey, I got a new microphone. I'm testing it out.
Sounds beautiful.
Oh, man, this will be your last recording. Just know it. But yeah, today we are going to be talking about playing some lower point clan games, or as I like to call it, Batchallin on a budget. But first, as always, let's get that battlemech coolant flowing with some hobby news, hobby progress, and some fan mail. Not a whole lot in the Battletech news world. We've got a little bit with the Battletech force packs. The clans are back in stock.
Nice.
Yeah. I think there's only a few of them. I think it's mainly the Wave 1 restocks, but I mean, it's nice to know that they are restocking things on a weekly-ish basis.
Yeah. And in a year or so, we'll probably be able to pick up a box whenever you want to.
Yeah.
I hope.
Hopefully. Soon.
It's getting better, though, and that's the important part.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. I think it's cool now is that they have some new items, which are the battle mat, the Alpine and Lunar one. That's
new?
That's
the
new.
Alpha Strike one, right?
Yeah, it's
hex.
hexless.
Yeah, hexless.
Oh, cool.
I have one of those. It's nice.
Nice.
So you got that. You've got the desert map packs.
I love the desert map pack. Love it.
I'll have to take a look at it. Is that the one with the giant airport on the back of it?
There are 4 maps that go together that make one giant airport, and I'm making hobby
That's right,
progress.
you're printing.
Making all the 3D terrain for it right now.
Yeah, nice.
See, I just personally don't like maps that don't have woods. Like, I feel like woods are such an integral part of...
Oh, they have woods. They have light woods, heavy woods. I've been printing them out as cacti, but it has it's got woods on the maps.
It's got woods.
Okay. Yeah. That helps me, because when I hear desert, I'm like, cool. Level 1, level 2, and barren wasteland. But
yeah, I mean, there's a couple maps that are like that, but most of them have some sort of shrubbery, cacti
foliage
type foliage. Yes.
Okay, that's good. The big ones definitely are. We have Salvage Box Clan Invasion and Salvage Box Shalone for sale. Nice. So we have loot boxes on the website, people.
Roll the real life dice.
Yeah, for $7, any mech of what 10 or 11 can be yours.
Something like that. Yeah, because it's definitely not every mech.
But the Shylone is always the Shylone.
Yeah.
15. That's not bad. That's
15?
the Clan Invasion box set and the 2 other ones that came out in Wave 1.
Yeah.
So any Wave 1 clan mech could be yours for $7.
Yep. Oh man, I still have, I think, 12 of them in this box that I've never opened.
Why do people do this? Why do people buy more mechs in plastic than it's almost like we have a problem or something?
Yeah,
right. I kind of had this thing where if I did a tournament, you could have it like as a prize, sort of unseen type thing. So
all right. I guess that's an excuse.
I haven't opened it yet, but I'm weak when it comes to Battletech. I may do it anyway.
But it's nice to see that the Shalone fighter is something that they have enough of, because it's like I said, it's for sale for $7, and I don't know if it's something that I'm actually going to purchase. Like, I might just wait for their Wave 2.5 when I get my free one. But if someone's wanting a whole bunch or just wants it now, they can get it. So
if Aerotech 3 falls out of the sky, then I'll get one, and if not, I'm good.
Yeah, I got the one from the Wave 2, but I wanted a Lance, and that's 2. So I managed to find another one.
Ah, nice.
Other than that, we've got the hardcover and leather covers of the Clan Invasion books. So Lethal Heritage, Blood Legacy, and Lost Destiny.
Karinsky trilogy.
Good books. Good stories.
I'm halfway through book number 2. And I got to get cooking because we got a book club meeting soon.
But so that's pretty much all the Battletech news. By the time this drops, we should have Rec Guide 22, but not yet.
I'll get it the day it comes out, though.
Yeah. So that's it for the news. What about hobby progress? Let's start with you, Dustin.
Well, I guess technically I painted some skeletons today.
Whoa, you painted skeletons?
Little Egyptian themed, I guess, skeletons.
Is this for Warhammer or?
Nah, I mean, it could be for anything. There's just some resin printed miniatures from One Page Rules. That's the designers. One Page Rules. Anyhow, local guy had his airbrush and he was having trouble with it. And he was like, can somebody help me out? So I went and helped him out today. Just some basics, airbrushing basics. So
good for you.
That's hobby progress. Been super busy other than that. So
did you proselytize with some BattleTech? Like, hey,
he had heard of BattleTech, but yeah, showed up with a bunch of pewter / maybe lead, like Chaos Space Marines from 1992 to practice on, because you can drop them in acetone or gasoline or whatever you want to use.
Whatever flammable solvent.
Yeah, anything will work.
So if you're doing that with the current plastic mechs, that ice purple alcohol works great. I haven't had any problems with those at all.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay.
Soaked one in there for about 5 days. Paint came
Whoa.
off. Yeah. Well, I forgot about it.
You didn't get a pile of goop. Hey, there you go.
Yeah. The paint came off. The mech was fine.
Nice. Good to know.
I just still spray over it. It's already painted. It's already primed. It's like, no need to strip it.
Oh, the detail's so good in these that you can do that.
Yeah. How about you, Josh?
I have done only a little bit, in the sense of I just started dry fitting my Ares, my tripod.
Hey, there you go.
Yeah, I wanted to make sure that it would fit and like I wouldn't have to break out like the saw. Like it is a larger model, like the top half.
He's a big boy.
The torso is in 2 sections, and I wanted to make sure. And I actually had a lot of trouble, like at first, lining up everything. Mm-hmm. And rather than like shave everything down, I really just put the 2 halves in my hand and just smush them together until everything was flush. So
yeah, pewter's kind of bendy.
It's kind of bendy. Yeah. So it did some squeaking and stuff, but by the end of it, it all fits. So hopefully after the holidays, I can get to that, because unfortunately I'm having to essentially pack up all of my painting stuff and mechs for the in-laws to come over.
No.
So they will be staying in the Thunderdome, essentially.
Nice. I heard.
Is it nice? Is it nice?
It's sad.
I once heard somebody say, with enough force, any 2 objects will come together. So there you go. Talking about your Ares.
I was about to say, not my in-laws.
I mean,
Yeah, so no painting for me for the next couple weeks, and at least until they're in and they're out. So
you've got a deck. You can get you a little fold-up table. You don't even have to set up your fan. You can just spray.
Don't tempt me. Don't tempt me.
I do it all the time.
It's like 40 degrees out there. I'm not priming or painting.
That's warm enough.
It's warm enough? No. I'm sorry, who won better painted at the tournament?
Ooh. You did.
There we go.
Wait, did your wife paint these again?
What?
No.
Right. Your wife is a good painter, though, right?
My wife is a wonderful painter.
Yeah.
She does like 90% of the commissions I take for painting, and she does a much better job than me.
All right, just making sure the trophy doesn't go to her,
No, I did all of these.
Excellent.
I did consult with her to ask what would be the best way, and then I was like,
fine.
I don't like this. I'm going to do it my own way and cry all the time. But it worked out, so.
Consulting is fine.
Consulting is fine. But yeah, so that's what I did. Denham, what about you?
I have finally finished printing out all the stuff for that Pack Deserts airport, and I am in the process of texturing and painting and prettying up.
Soon.
Soon-ish, TM.
All right, we got a little bit of fan mail. We got Sebastian. Sebastian writes, "Hello and greetings from Germany. I'm just listening to the latest episode of the podcast, and I have to say that I'm having a great time. It's awesome to hear that a fan got you some printouts for Death from Above's Battletech Destiny rule set, and I can only urge you to give the system a try. It's awesome. Battletech Destiny is a great melange of Classic and Alpha Strike, and it's also a living system that is constantly being worked on by the Death from Above crew. I'm really looking forward to your thoughts on Battletech Destiny. Keep up the great work. Sincerely, Sebastian. P.S. I'd love to ask you some details on the Alpha Strike tournament you're talking about on the podcast. Did you play on hex maps, or did they use tabletop 3D terrain? Also, did you use the single roll to hit damage rules, or did you roll a pair of dice for every point of damage on a mech? Great question, and thanks for writing into us, Sebastian.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, so it was on 3D printed terrain, no hex maps. Everything was in inches. And the tournament used a slightly modified, but mostly you roll a pair of dice for every point of damage to hit, which I will never go back. I will say that much.
Yeah. Variable hit damage is
Supreme.
Superior.
That is in the rule book, though, right? Like,
yes.
It's
it
like
is the optional
rule. Yeah.
Well, there are some optional rules that shouldn't be.
That should not be optional. That should be.
Yeah, I think that one is a good one. And things like in Classic, the Flamer doing 2 points damage and 2 points of heat at the same time.
It's like, come on, that's a gimme.
But yeah, I bet that the damage dice started out as one way, and it's just become so popular the way you guys played it that they put it in the book, and it's one of those unofficial official rules.
Yeah, well, they should just go ahead and make it official, and also make it official that you can't load and unload battle armor in the same turn. But anyways,
after your stories, I agree.
I'm moving forward. Already don't want to beat the dead horse, so to speak.
The horse is dead. The horse
is dead. Yep. I think the next time we get together, I think you still got the copies of those DFA.
Yep. I haven't seen anyone since then, just because everything. But yeah, I really enjoyed the tabletop 3D terrain that was there. It was all good quality stuff. Yeah. So
nice printed stuff, well painted.
Yes.
Great variety of tables to play on.
All right. And for the Battletech events calendar, we got Battle for the Sphere in Castle Rock, Colorado on December 11th.
If you're in Colorado, get your plane tickets purchased right now.
Yeah. But I wish I could go to those, but it's that weird middle of the holiday time.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, the in-between. I'm actually traveling for the in-between the holidays time this year.
Ooh, where are you going?
Oh, down to Florida.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Are you going to go to the Wolfnet Radio battle one for that one?
Is there something happening in Florida?
On the 26th, yeah. Or sorry, that's February. Never mind. Cut it out.
Okay.
Cut this.
I'm not going to be in there on the 26th anyhow. But no, I might catch a game of Warhammer with my little brother who's bigger than me.
Oh, I got a little brother who's bigger than me in Florida as well. Younger brother who's bigger than me. Yeah.
We're younger brother who live in Florida who's bigger than me.
Yeah.
Brothers.
I got one of them.
But yeah, anything else for news, progress, or mail?
Games played. That's a segment.
Yeah. Has anyone gotten any BattleTech in lately?
I have.
Whoa.
Yeah. Well, I still at Hangar 18.
Well, you didn't come to the tournaments. You got
I didn't
got to catch up.
Which gave me so much more time to organize other things. Yes. I still play every other Tuesday. So I do missions once a month, and I do basically BattleTech free time every other Tuesday.
Unstructured BattleTechage.
Exactly.
There you go.
So we've been doing a lot of that.
How about you, Josh? You get any games in?
I've gotten some Mega Mech in. Like I said, trying out some new variants and trying out some things for future game days,
Nice.
I mean, like I said, the rec guides are out, so having to see how those work, and then trying out new Il Clan era stuff.
I think all but the most recent 2 rec guides are in Mega Mech now.
Oh, dang. Nice. Has anybody played with the Hermit Crab yet?
No, I haven't. I want to.
I'm excited.
All right. So let's take a quick break and see what's coming in on the HPG. Coming in for the store news, Ares Games and Miniatures is now selling a custom Feldherr case designed for transporting your perfect 350 PV list. It's got plenty of room for more than one list, and those bags will easily fit the new Catalyst Sculpt miniatures, a mesh pocket for cards, and for a limited time, each bag also includes a set of critical hit trackers for free. Ares has also partnered with Creative Juggernaut and is now carrying plastic terrain hexes. These miniature-based 4-packs currently come in 2 terrain types, Badlands and Lunar. Each biome series will be a pack of 4 randomly selected bases, with no duplicates to ensure each box is unique. And from Fortress Miniatures, fresh off the design table at Death Ray Designs and released last weekend, the Tiger Maw BB209. If you've ever wanted to take a mech that screams it came from the planet Detroit, this is for you. Now you can run your cybernetically enhanced Elemental Enforcement Officer with his own brain-in-a-jar mech. Also, Fortress has started receiving Wolf's Dragoons, Barnes & Nobles boxes, and they are currently being split up, so if you are looking for only 1 or 2 pieces of the set, it's the perfect time to drop on them.
Warning, damage critical. Ammunition depleted.
Welcome to the beaches of Canopus. Away from the chaos of the battlefield, awaits rest and relaxation of a quality unsurpassed by the successor states. Trade in your cooling vest and neuro helmet for a cold martini and a nap in the sun. Or perhaps try your luck at one of our sphere-renowned casinos. Indulge in free culture and arts in our renowned galleries while expanding your palate with tastes local and foreign at authentic high-class restaurants and bars. Everyone knows that the magistracy is unsurpassed in pleasure and relaxation. Book a transcendent experience with an agent near you and return to your life truly refreshed.
All right, we are back. So, your dishonorable star colonel has bid low, and I'm talking real low. I'm talking inner sphere lance low. Low like you're using some arbitrary battle value system to determine how many mechs you can put on the battlefield. But yes, today we're going to be talking about Batchallin on a budget. So what are some reasons to Batchall on a budget? Well, the big one I could see is you don't want to throw down everything on the poor little Innersphere player that finally agreed to move up from 3025 to the clan invasion, and you don't want to look at all of my 3-4 pilots and their clan large pulse lasers and targeting computers. So you want to kind of meet them in the middle for game balance, I should say.
Yeah.
Yep.
And you don't want them to have to bring a whole company to the game.
That is the big one, because the higher BV you go up, the more units they go up. Your star could turn into a company of Savannah Masters plus mechs. And
I have personally experienced part of a game with a clan assault star versus a inner sphere assault company. You don't want to do it.
Yeah, didn't a couple episodes ago didn't we determine that the box set, the Clan Invasion box set Lance was equivalent to 12 Marauders?
I'm trying to remember. I think it was a Lance, or it was a star of, what was it? A star versus 12 Marauder 2s. Was it a star of Timberwolves or something? Or was it the box? It might have been the box.
Yeah, no, it was the box. I'm looking at what I wrote down last time. It's the box set with elementals is equivalent to 12 Marauders with the large laser instead of the AC5.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, 12 of them.
Yeah, so you might not want to do that.
that would take forever. That's one of those 16-hour games.
Yep, you could spin it all as a narrative mission. It is not unheard of for the Inner Sphere to have dishonorably split off a star from its, binary or trinary through subterfuge and Inner Sphere trickery.
They all got blown up by that one lucky artillery strike, or the dropship went down and only one of them got out.
Yeah.
Or you're a fan of the underdog and you just want to challenge.
That's my personal favorite. I could take on your entire lance with 2 mechs and still come out on top.
Yeah, just a good old, Batchall.
Just a good old Batchall.
Just a good old Batchall.
So what does make a good budget clan mech?
Well, I mean, low battle value. That's what
Got it.
You got to help me out a little bit.
No, you're fine. So let me rephrase. So when I think of a good budget clan mech for a star or for a game, what I'm normally thinking of is a 1500-ish BV, like something that's relatively equivalent to an inner sphere heavy level of battle value. I'm thinking of something that's normally only got 2 or 3 weapon systems, like 1 primary and then a secondary, and then just the flavor ER small in the head, like we see on a lot of inner sphere mechs. And something that's almost purely optimized for one role, or just so generalized that it's not good at any role. Those are normally the mechs that I consider to be budget clan mechs.
I got a few ideas for that. So yeah, that sounds good. I mean, not budget mechs are really easy to come by. They're the ones that are 3,000 plus battle value for a medium mech. Probably not what you're looking for.
Yeah.
To get into the right headspace, or for what you're going to be finding on the cheaper chassis, just get comfortable with the LBX, the SRM, the LRM, ER mediums and ER larges. Like Denham said, you're not going to be packing the pulse lasers in the targeting computers. The ER PPC, the clan ER PPC as well. Shun the Gauss rifle, shun the PPC, the pulse laser. You're not going to be bringing that. Or maybe one. Just one.
I was about to say, those are going to be your one big primary. Like when we talked about the Thor on the last clan episode, that is a 2 primary weapons and not enough ammo to keep the BV low.
So yeah, let's move on to some specifics. I think we can go over a couple of our favorite cheap chassis and variants. Low battle value clan mechs in the invasion era.
Or how to build a star that my Intersphere friend doesn't keep refusing my Batchallin for.
Yeah, because honestly, that is the biggest goal of this, is to make a list that is more palatable for a newer Intersphere player or a newer, just got the Clan Invasion box set, but they're still using a Game of Armor combat mechs, essentially. Something that's not going to break their spirit right out the gate.
Yeah, it's nothing is more disappointing than when you bring out a star of mechs and they look at their box set and they're like, I don't have enough mechs to make it fair.
Yeah.
I just don't.
I went to Solaris Skunk Works and sorted by battle value, and it's just not possible.
Yeah, so what are a few discount battle value clan mechs in the invasion era? So let's start out with the lights, just because, well, they're going to be the easiest to kind of differentiate between an Intersphere one. Dustin, why don't you go into your personal favorite discount light clan mech?
My go-to is the Mislinks Prime, 871 battle value at 4.5. LRM 10, some token machine guns, and an SRM 4. I think it's a streak. A lot of people hate that it only jumps 6, but remember, that keeps the battle value down because it can't produce that 4 TMM. That light mech and that Prime, and specifically makes it into a lot of my Batchallin on a budget lists.
Yeah, I like the Mislinks just because it is cheaper. Like, it can still do the same role as a dasher, not as supremely optimized as the dasher, but still to good effect while also having some combat effectiveness.
Yeah, and you can sneeze on the Mislinks and it probably won't die, whereas the Fire Moth will.
It can't get as high as a TMM, but it can jump, which I want to think says something or is worth something more. What do you think about the Mislinks, Denham?
Well, I love the Mislinks. I probably would have put it on my list, but I already saw it.
Yeah, there's not a lot to choose from, so you'll see a lot of repeats.
I could say, hey, I agree with Dustin on that. Like on my list, I did put the Puma A, the Adder. It's a little bit more expensive, but it meets a lot of Josh's criteria, where it's got one main missile or weapon system. In this case, it's just LRMs. It is a light mech, but it's slower for a light mech, so it's not super overpowered. Gives some weaknesses that the Intersphere guys can exploit. So it has a role, and it can be countered. So I don't think it's too overpowered.
Yeah.
No, I mean, the Puma is, like, I want to say on the high end. Like, I wouldn't personally call it a discount or Batchallin on a budget mech, just because it's a lot on one chassis. Like, that is an Intersphere heavy 1400 BV.
Okay, yeah. we could talk about that if you want. Like, yes, it seems high, but if you're looking at people's favorite clan mechs, they're all about the same battle value, regardless of weight class. Like, all the favorite ones are between 2,600 and 4,000 BV across the board, whether it's light to assault. They're all about the same. So anything under 2,000 is kind of a discount.
Not a bad deal.
Yeah.
Josh, you got a favorite?
But so I also love the Mislinks. Like I said, I think it's great for dropping off battle armor and then still harassing. Like, it fills a multi-purpose role in that the dasher kind of lacks. Mm-hmm. Like, the dasher is a one-purpose drop battle armor and then just go really fast to get TMM and annoy people. Yeah. The Mislinks can still hang around clan medium range and pop up shots.
Dip, dodge, duck, and dive.
Well, when we go to mediums, I'll talk about my favorite battle armor bus. But the Mislinks is a good
one. Let's just go to medium now.
Tell me about your favorite clan medium battle armor bus.
The battle armor bus that I use is the Dragonfly or Viper. I use the Prime variant. Yeah. It comes in at 1450, which is just a tiny little bit higher than the Adder A, but I think it's an 812-8. It is a great elemental delivery system. I mean, it's got some weapons, it's got some armor, it's got a lot of speed.
It's got decent armor, yeah, and I can't agree with you more. I love it, and it pains me as a Ultramarines. I mean, Clan Wolf player to put
the number of people that have agreed with me on this statement just makes me feel so vindicated.
Hey,
I lost so many listeners. Like, the listener count just went down after that.
It pains me to put the Viper in my Clan Wolf list, but it's just such a killer medium. And I'll run it alongside my.
It's got the
Ferret.
anti-missile system to keep people from blowing it up too fast.
Yeah. And since I'm talking about the Ice Ferret, I'll go ahead and talk about, yes, I like the Viper, but also the Ice Ferret. The Prime is a bit pricey. It's $16.78, so I don't know if that might be like one of the heaviest battle value-wise mechs in my list if I'm bringing the Ice Ferret Prime. I also don't really like the Clan ERPPC, so typically I'd actually run like the A or the D. The D is a little pricey too, but I think the D is in my list. We'll talk about that later. Josh?
Yeah, I like your Ice Ferret. I like your Viper. But one mech that it's growing on me, and especially for lower, cheaper BV, is the Battle Cobra. Like, I was kind of looking for a regular Nova, like something that had purely one focus in the medium bracket. And when I found the Battle Cobra, I was like, this is 4 medium pulses and 6 small pulses. Like, that is a Nova that you can shoot.
You use both
more.
arms.
You can use both arms. Essentially, it's
Denham's over there like, what are you talking about? I use both arms on the Nova all the time.
yeah, I know. And all I could think was Dustin. Oh, I just
Not
shoot
all the
one
time,
arm.
just when it's appropriate.
Just when you're,
Yeah. So this is a brawler medium, which everyone knows I love, but it is purely focused on just put pulse lasers on, and for 1466, that's
bad.
pretty. That's not bad.
Well, that's
especially when it can
40
still
ton
get up
mech.
close and hit something really hard.
Yeah, like what's 1450 on an inner sphere? Like what size is that? That's
heavy.
It's a heavy, yeah, or a really nice medium. What's the movement profile on that?
It's a 6'9".
6'9".
No jumps, no jump.
Okay.
But
I was wondering how it was so low, and it's a little slower. Okay.
yeah, the armor is not super high. It definitely needs a flank just because it is 40 tons.
40 ton, yeah.
But like I said, it's something new that I've never really seen anyone use, and I feel like it's one of those like hidden gems.
Isn't it? It's a Wave 2 mech, right? So
It is a Wave 2. Like I have one. So
there you go.
I also have one.
Do you want to know the weirdest part is?
What's that?
It's also an Intersphere mech because they captured so many at Tukid. And the BV for those are in the sub 1,000.
Oof.
Nice. Oh, they refitted them with
either just 2 large pulse lasers and C3 MRM. So like,
oh, weird.
Yeah, the Intersphere was like, this is a really cheap mech. We're going to make it ours.
Nice.
And I just think that's hilarious. But that is, like I said, it's not super common, but for something that is still mobile, but also can get up close and just like 1-2 hit a mech, that's what I'm looking for in a medium.
Yeah, it's a nice one. If you're not running in elementals, that's the better one to have.
I mean, you could still put elementals on that. 6'9's not the worst.
Yeah. It doesn't jump though, so that slows it down from getting him into those tight to reach spots.
True, but with the loadout of 4 medium pulses and 6 small pulses, it is something that wants to get close. So,
I mean,
throwing battle armor onto a clan brawler is probably not the worst plan.
I was going to say, even if you decide not to drop them off, that's 55 more points of armor on your mech.
That's. I see you listened to my last episode of using a Blade of Wounds.
It works just as well in Classic as it does in Alpha Strike.
It does.
It just feels wrong, though.
It does.
That's why they have less armor on the side torsos. A lot of the Omnis. The toadies are supposed to take a whack or two.
It's the price for the lift to the battlefield, right?
That's right. Share your armor.
All right, so let's move on to some heavies. So this is probably where we struggle the most because everyone loves taking the clan heavies. Like they are the most iconic of them.
Which means they're expensive.
Which means they are the most expensive.
So expensive.
Denham, do we want to start with you? See what you brought. So if your Star Colonel bid too low, what would you be taking?
If he bid way low, I would take the Loki or Hellbringer B variant. That one is only 1592, which is really, really, really low for a clan heavy.
Yeah, like 1,000 BV lower than some of the ones.
It's 1,000 BV lower than an Adder Prime, which is a light mech.
It's overpriced. We already talked about that.
Oh, yeah, I will defend that.
I know we'll get that game in one day.
I also chose the Loki B as my cheap go-to for Batchallin on a budget heavy. So you picked it just because it was cheap and what? Like, what were your reasons for picking it?
I picked it because although it's a heavy and it's a Loki, so it doesn't have much armor, it's got a lot of weapons and it can do some damage. It'll stay in the back and just do a lot of damage and force the inner sphere mechs to close into range with that, while my other mechs would make it pay for that. So it's my weapons platform.
He got gun. Armor, maybe not, but gun, yes.
Yes. He's only a 5'8", but he does have a Clan Gauss rifle and an LB5X, so he can punch holes to let the rest of the star exploit when they throw off Zelbringen.
Nice.
And then if he really wants to get close, he can finish things off by first making the hole and then filling it with the 2 SRM6s.
2 SRM6s with Artemis.
Yeah, so...
+2 on your tables, baby.
He is definitely forcing PSRs.
Yeah, Lokis have a lot of firepower across the board.
Would you say he's a glass cannon or just a...
100% a glass cannon. I mean, his armor is so low. If we want to do Denham's math corner in the podcast. Loki, Thor, Vulture, and Mad Cat, I would say, are the 4 classic clan heavy mechs. The Loki has the lowest armor by a lot. The Mad Cat's got 12 tons of armor. The Loki only has 8. But the Loki has the most free space, the most free omnipod space of all 4 of them.
Oh, no kidding.
Even though it's like the lightest. So, like, if you look at it, the Vulture is the closest with only 1 ton less. But the Thor has 7.5 tons less pod space than the Loki does. Mad Cat's 5 tons less. So the Loki, though the least amount of armor, has the most weapons of all 4 of those.
So this is a mech that you definitely get that reject D squad of elementals to ride on top.
Oh, you need that. Yes.
Like I don't even know. Would they be Salhama or would they just be like purely bred for this one purpose of riding
they're
on?
The fat, lazy elementals.
Exactly.
Those who jump jets only jump up like 2.
Star Commander, why do we not have jetpacks or jump packs on our elementals?
My mag clamp doesn't release, Sergeant.
My omniport's closed on my wrists.
So what did you bring, Dustin?
Nothing. I don't have any heavies, and I'll mark it up to experience. Like, I really don't have, when I'm Batchallin on a budget, like, I literally never bring a clan heavy. So I have no space to make an opinion because I have heavy clan mechs that I like, but they've never made it into my my cheap lists.
As much as I hate this, I will accept this because the heavies are
They're
like
expensive.
if you did the curve of like where the BV goes, the heavies are actually higher than some of the assaults, and it's just because they're much more optimized for like targeting pewters, pulse lasers, ERPBCs, and mobility.
It's so nice.
Yeah, the heavy mechs can still generate that like 3, right? Running 7.
Yeah.
So, and I don't think any of the assaults can. Maybe with mask, but anyhow, yeah. So they because they can generate that higher TMM, they're BV.
So you're saying go back down to the mediums?
I always do. I have in almost all of my lists, I've got 2 elementals, a light, a medium, and an assault. And so let's move on to assault omnis. Yeah.
And which assault is that?
That's the Gargoyle Prime, my friends.
Oh, God.
Okay, I would have lost that bet. I would have said Dustin would go for the one with the 10 Ultra AC2s.
And you know what? It excites me, but I have not painted that miniature yet. And I'm one of those people. It's like, I don't. It's my rule for me, not for anybody else.
But if the mini was painted, would you not prefer it?
Yeah, I'll give it a try.
Which mech is this that you were joking about?
This is the Kraken.
Yeah.
Finish out the Gargoyle first.
Yeah, I mean, where else can you get a clan assault mech for 1,537 ballot value?
It's incredibly low.
It's so cheap. Everybody's like, oh, it's got 2 LBX5s, 2 SRM6s. Was it having immediate? There's something in the center torso, isn't there?
ER small.
ER small. Yeah, that's why I don't remember what it is. Yeah, this is, if I can wax poetic just a tiny bit about the Gargoyle.
Get up on your soapbox here. Let me push it over to you.
It works well as a battle armor taxi. It's not super fast, but it will get them to where they're
5'8"
going.
is fast,
5'8"
though.
for an assault.
Yeah, for an assault. The thing kicks. It's 80 tons. That's a 16-point leg sweep. And it has enough armor to go toe-to-toe. And if your opponent happens to bring any of their armor, like tanks and stuff, those LBX cannons are going to shred. It lore-wise, that's what the Man of War was doing in the field, right?
Yeah.
Suppressing inner sphere armor and infantry.
Can't lead
and
the battle because it comes in and it's the kill stealer. I mean,
Yeah.
it waits till everything else has holes, and then the LBX and SRMs just get crits. It's the crit seeker.
Yep. So I'm going to step off my soapbox. I'll try out the Kraken one day. I only have one assault mech that ever gets on my list, and it's the Gargoyle Prime. How about you guys?
You go, Denham.
Oh yeah, I mean that was mine was the Gargoyle because it's the only
one.
It's the only cheap assault mech at all. Everything else is closer to 3K or more.
Yep.
Talk to me about the Kraken, though. Like, you brought it up, so now we have to talk about it.
Yeah. Have you put the Kraken on the table?
Is the Kraken even is it a Omni?
It is an Omni. It has oh no, you're right. Never mind. It's not. It doesn't even belong on this list. Who put that on the list? I certainly didn't.
Hey, it's not highlighted, so I didn't do it.
Yeah. No. All right. So Kraken is not even valid
you know
on
what?
this list.
This segues into the next section. All of our listeners are probably like, guys, you're missing like 50% of the clam Tomon. So yeah, let's talk about 2C and C variants, right? This is Josh's bread and butter.
These are my bread and butter because if I'm going to play as clan against an inner sphere person who's never fought clan, I'm probably going to try to use mainly these for that first game or two, just so they kind of understand the technology.
That's not the reason.
Oh,
the reason is because you're actually an Inner Sphere player, and you're like, I don't want to play clans. Oh, I can still play Inner Sphere and pretend to be clans. This is how I do it.
For me, it's even worse. Teenage Me loved the anime style artwork for the 2Cs and the technical readout 3055. I saw that, and I was just like, I need them all.
I need them all. Give them to me.
And Denham was never more wrong again.
I even have the minis, and I was so sad that the minis weren't in those poses.
I wanted those sweet poses.
Just no.
I wanted. Is it the glass spider with the down the barrel shot?
It's the Rifleman 2C. It's pointing right at you with one arm and like got the other arm out for balance. And it's so exciting.
If there's one thing of Battletech I could take away, like wish it never existed, it might be those arts.
Oh.
My only joy is that they're slowly paving over it.
Burying it slowly.
Battletech started off with such good art because they
just stole it.
Yeah. and then for a long time the artwork was so bad. Like knees didn't work, legs were entirely different. Aerospace fighters would have one short stubby wing and one really long wing.
Ooh, asymmetrical aerodyne.
Not on purpose though.
Oh, okay. Even worse.
Yeah, it was horrible. And to see new art that actually looked good, and I was a huge anime fan in college. Mm-hmm. So when this came out, I'm just like, yay, new artist. I'm back in. So it really did. It hooked me hard.
See, Josh, if we didn't have that artwork, we wouldn't have Denham here today on the podcast. He'd probably still be alive.
Don't make me choose between those.
I can hear Josh rolling his eyes right now. Thanks.
All right. So I'm basically going to be quiet for this whole entire time because I don't have any 2C or C mechs that I painted up except for one. And I guess I'll talk about it. So the Locust 2C is kind of bonkers. I like.
Well, we can talk about standard battle mechs. So most of what we've received in the new Wave 1, Wave 2 Kickstarter has been omnimechs because those are the poster boys. Yeah, those are the poster boys of Clan Invasion. Yeah. So, but
they were the originals.
They are the originals, but there are so many just standard non-omni battle mechs that, while are considered second line, you would probably see one or two in a frontline star just due to logistics or special needs.
Like the Galahad, right? That's what you're talking about. It's not a 2C or a C. It's just a
so
non-omni clan mech.
Yeah, things like the Ghost Hawk, the Kodiak, the Kingfisher, all the Clan Ghost Bear people are just like, yeah, this is where we shine. when you're not paying for the Omnipod option, like that just drops the price down a whole lot.
No, I mean, to get narrative for a hot second, like the omnimechs are supposed to be so cool because you can switch it up for do your field refit just on the fly, which unfortunately you don't see reflected in the day-to-day pickup games, but run your narrative campaigns, guys. I know we did a little bit, just a tiny bit out of the... Yeah, so we ran a tiny bit of a adversarial campaign out of Error Report 3052, and the deal was that you could pick your variant after you saw the mission. So if you were running an Omni. So like that's why we brought that Omni flavor back into those missions. It's like, I'm taking an Ice Ferret. Oh, I see the mission. I'm going to take the A or the D.
I love that idea so much.
Yep. Just make them shine again. But anyways, we're not talking about Omnis anymore. We're talking about standard battlemechs and 2Cs and C variants, right?
So that's my thing about this standard variants. Like they're just as capable. They just are normally made either for one specific purpose. Like my favorite standard is probably the Piranha. Like it's just machine guns with legs. Like you don't need omnipod capabilities for machine guns with legs.
Yeah.
You just need to terrorize regiments of infantry.
Exactly. Yeah. Terrorize. Wait, there's anybody left to have PTSD? But yeah, that's 1,000 BV, and most of what you're paying for right then is just the speed of 914.
Mm-hmm.
What about you, Denham? Do you have any favorite standard mechs?
Not standard. I mean, not standard mechs that would be cheap enough to field.
Because they can get pricey too.
They can get pricey.
Like, I like the Galahad. Everybody likes the Stone Rhino to begin with.
I don't.
Shush. No, the Stone Rhino is one of those that you're like, oh, I designed a mech just like that when the rules for the new weapons first came out. Because everyone tried to min-max. And that's a pretty much min-maxed mech. There's
one that carries exclusively medium pulse lasers.
That's true. And most of us have done that when we were doing our hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of mech designs.
Yeah.
Because we didn't have all these TROs with all these mechs.
Yeah, I already mentioned the Locust 2C. It's the only one I've put on the field. It's got lots of lasers, but it's still a Locust.
So what exactly is a 2C? So when we say 2C...
Right. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Josh said standard.
Yeah, so 2C mechs were... Karinsky and crew brought them with them, right? And then they upgraded them. So those are your 2Cs. With more technology.
More than that.
No, I'm going to go with no and say you're wrong on that and say let's restart this whole sentence. Because that's a C.
Oh, that C is just new weapons.
Because a Phoenix Hawk 2C is an 80-ton mech.
That's right. So, yeah, they...
So a 2C mech, that is actually a clan redesign, like from the ground up of a Inner Sphere mech. Like I'm looking at what did we just say? The Phoenix Hawk 2C.
Which is an assault mech.
Yep.
Right?
Which is now an assault mech.
It's an 80-ton mech. It's got like 2 Ultra AC-10s.
Mm-hmm. Yep, 2 Ultra AC-10s and 2 machine guns. So it is a completely different beast. Still can jump, but it's not the same purpose.
But most of the 2Cs are roughly the same weight.
Yes. Those are completely new designs based on the old one.
Inspired.
It's a new chassis.
Yeah.
You could not normally turn your Inner Sphere mech, take it into the shop and make it into a 2C.
Yeah, no, they're new production models. Didn't they use inspired by the blueprints of the mechs they brought with them, or
yes.
Yeah, they wanted to make it better in every way.
Yeah.
Sometimes it worked. Sometimes it didn't. Like the Clint 2C is probably my favorite 2C just because it's a medium that's solid. It's got its LB10X and 2 ER medium lasers and plenty of armor. It's got mobility, speed, firepower. Yay. But in my opinion, one that they tried to make way better but didn't is the Hunchback 2C. I mean, to me, that one is the fun game to see if it can survive long enough to fire its 2.5 turns worth of ammo. Because it only has enough ammo to fire
2.5 turns, right?
Its guns 2.5 times. Then it's out.
Well, the whole purpose of the Hunchback 2C is to give older warriors an honorable death, which means run up very close, pull the trigger until either it stops moving or you stop moving.
A chance to get a kill before you die.
Yeah. But did it become popular for duels?
Very popular
in the clans.
Yeah,
very popular
very
for
popular.
Your trial or your refusal, or
it turns out
Trial of
two Ultra
Grievance.
AC-20s can do a lot of damage to everything. And when you're a culture of one-on-one battles, you don't need to have staying power. You just overwhelming firepower.
Yep. Ask Chandler. The AC-20 wins.
But yeah, I mean, probably the most well-known 2C to me is probably the Wolfhound 2C.
Oh, lovely.
Phelan Kells, where they completely blew up his Wolfhound and then just looked at the kind of paperwork for it and said, we can build this back completely differently with the same kind of flavor. But that's a one-off that was not made to be a Wolfhound. That was not an upgrade from the pieces. That is a new mech. So those are the 2Cs, but we have one more different type of clan mech. So we have the omnimech, which can hold battle armor, the standard, which cannot hold battle armor, but is other than that, just like a regular Innersphere mech. 2Cs, which are inspired by Innersphere mechs, and then just the C variant, which is an Innersphere mech with clan tech on it.
So with the C variants, do they just stick the new guns in there, or do they upgrade the heat sinks sometimes? Because I can see a problem. Sometimes. Asterisk. Yeah, because some of these run comically hot, right?
The C variants are built from essentially while they were upgrading their weapons and armor and everything, and just slapping it into the Innersphere mechs that they had, because they hadn't fully industrialized to make new battle mechs. They just had all of their old Innersphere ones hanging around, and they were like, cool, we've invented the clan large pulse laser. Let us put it into, and they look around and just slap it in the first thing they see. Yeah, exactly.
It to that mech.
So are these like mixed tech?
These are mixed tech.
Yep.
So a lot of them will either have a standard Innersphere engine or regular standard structure and armor with clan weapons.
Oh, like it might still have a regular medium laser when clans don't have a regular medium laser.
It's the chassis is Innersphere, and the engine could be standard Innersphere.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but Denham doesn't know about these because these are like inserted back into canon via the Iliad book, right? Yeah, so these are, what do they call it? They're like light retcons.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, okay, well that would be why I'm not...
Denham's like, what is this?
Yeah.
This is not canon.
Yeah, so one big one that you probably might have just seen or might just be making the rounds would be the Hunchback C, and that is a Innersphere Hunchback with a Clan Ultra AC-20.
Man, my brother would like that. Don't
be less insane than the 2C. Yeah.
So to me, those are kind of the nice mix between cheap Innersphere, but also good clan weapons and technology. They do have some problems because things got upgraded at different times. You have Innersphere heat sinks with clan ERPPCs.
Yeah. So
a lot of them will have a fatal flaw, like insanely bad heat management.
One-time use.
Yeah.
One-time use. I love it. All right. So we've talked about
do you have a favorite? Hold on. Do you have a favorite C variant, Josh?
Do I have a favorite C variant?
You're the C expert.
I am the C expert. I like the Marauder C.
It's under experimental.
Okay, damn it.
Is it? Am I imagining?
There's 2 large pulse lasers, Ultra AC5, and 2 medium lasers.
Yeah, that's a cool. Take your Marauder that you got in your Innersphere box that everyone has and everyone loves, and then just throw their clan weapons onto it.
Which is exactly what my kids wanted to do as soon as I showed them the clans. They're like, I got this favorite mech, and now I want all the good weapons. I want my LRMs to not have minimum ranges.
And to be 50% as heavy.
Yeah.
They're just superior.
Yeah, the Warhammer C, like pretty much any of your standard favorite Innersphere mechs have a just equivalent clan weapon variant, and Catalyst is right now realizing people like C variants apparently.
Well, I mean, they're new sculpts. You can use them if you're
exactly. So if you are a only clan player, you can now buy an Innersphere pack of mechs and run it in your clan forces.
Options. I love options.
Call it your Salhama unit or your garrison, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Who doesn't want an Archer C with 2 LRM clan 20s point blank?
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, there's a regular Archer that's 4 LRM 15s, but clan LRM, you could fit like 6 clan LRM 15s in there.
So those are the C variants. Like I said, I think those are kind of the most interesting just because it is that super missing link between the Inner Sphere game and the clan game. Like, if you were trying to bring someone up an era, that's what I would give them.
Is this like one of those ill clan era things? That may be why I'm not familiar with it. Is that
No, not all of them. Not all of them. A lot of it's the Golden Century and that stuff. Yeah, so you have to dig into like clan homeworld kind of eras.
Yeah. Pentagon Wars and shit like that, right?
The Exterminator has the early clan, which is an EC, and that's where it's 50-50 Inner Sphere clan technology.
Oh.
Once they normally get all of the clan weapons sorted out, then they just take the E away and put a C.
All my chocolate and peanut butter all mixed together.
But yeah, so let's talk about how our tactics change at lower battle value games as a clan player. What are some major problems that you see when you get on the table and you don't have your regular go-to assault, a battle star?
Oof. Well, I mean, for me, where I notice it is in armor. And I mean, by how much damage my clan force can take. The main advantage to clans in my mind has always been their lighter and better equipment and superior mobility. But their armor is still capped at 304 points, just like the Inner Sphere. So at lower battle values, you've got less mechs, and you need to have you need to use everything that you've got to keep the Inner Sphere from focus firing any of your mechs down, because then you're just running on a deficit, and it gets worse and worse. So yeah, for me, mobility, never stop moving, take advantage of range, and use those elementals to harass and tie down any Inner Sphere mechs that are causing you problems.
So I feel like not only are you going to get some BB to play around with your battlemechs, I feel like at the lower point value games, elementals become even more necessary for tying up the heavier assets your opponent's going to bring. Like Denham was saying, you play clan at lower point levels like you always do, but even more now. You have to dictate your ranges, make sure you're not giving your opponent those shots, because you're bringing less armor to the table. And I've never not brought elementals. I feel like it's super key. And that's how it might change for me. So if I'm playing at a higher battle value, I might leave the elementals at home, maybe, and just bring like a fun list full of clan battle mechs that just annihilate, wreak havoc on the field on your opponent.
That Inner Sphere player, he didn't get new elementals or battle armor in his box set, so he's like, what am I going to use? I didn't get new plastic tanks. Why would I use those?
That's a good question. Like, what can he use to make up that difference? I mean, if we want to touch on that just a little bit, I really like the idea of using the battlefield support points that are in the battlemech manual. In my mind, a good way to give the Inner Sphere like that home field advantage. Give them points to use for landmines. Have them have their nearby base bring over aerospace fighters for bombing runs or strafing runs, and be able to call in artillery. I've been playing that a little bit at some of our games and I haven't tied down exactly how much battlefield support points you should get for the battle value.
Okay,
because nobody has just said it's that much. Right now, I'm kind of toying around with like 100 battle value equals 1 battlefield support point, and that's not bad. But I think I could tweak it even more. Yeah, just to the clans are really overwhelming our position until my airstrike rips up the back or the legs of some of these, slows them down. Minefields in unexpected places are awesome at keeping that dasher. But it's a work in progress.
Yeah.
But I think that it's going to be more popular, especially now that they've included vehicles for battlefield support points in the Tukiyid book, which are compatible with the stuff in the battlemech manual.
One thing I forgot to touch on real quick. If you've listened to me talk about playing the game in prior episodes, you've heard me talk about the anchor on the battlefield. I feel like the anchor doesn't make its way into my lower point value lists when I'm playing clans. So I have to be even more delicate when it comes to dictating the engagement, because you really have to dictate your ranges, and you don't want to be taking a shot that you're not expecting, or so you have to really plan ahead even more. So I feel like it's more punishing, right, Josh?
You definitely have to play much more conservatively. You can't push up and go in for that kill just when you think you might have it, just because if anything happens to your mech, like, you do have normally less armor, and You're going to have less
Mhm.
guns, so you can't react as easily or as fast. You're not going to have the super fast mobile mechs anymore in a lower BV, Batchallin on a budget kind of game.
Yeah.
You still want to dictate what's happening. You can't just play exclusively on the back foot because you'll get cornered that way, especially if you're playing an inner sphere player. That's what they're actively trying to do, is to corner your fast, slippery, punchers, glass cannons, because most of them are going to be glass cannon ish. Not all of them, I guess. Actually, I take that back.
Yeah, if your inner sphere opponent thinks they have supremely a tonnage and armor advantage, they will just walk forward and try to push you into a corner where they can all focus fire down one mech a turn.
If I'm the inner sphere player, that's my plan.
Yeah, it works.
What I would mainly change tactics wise in a lower point game as a clan would just be essentially check your corners, but always, I don't want to say Zellbringed would hold you back.
You're talking about Zellbringed, and if we're playing a battle value balanced game, I feel like as it's a narrative sin, just like bringing 4 or 5 pilots and omnimechs. But I kind of have to ditch it, and that's a discussion you need to have with your opponent before you play the game.
Zellbringed is not for balanced BV.
It's not.
It's intentionally made to put clans at a severe disadvantage. But that's why it's also not a tournament thing, because it's only suggestions and ideas. There's no rule that you can look at to say, oh, you did this wrong.
Right.
I mean, it even depends on the clan you're playing as to what is and what isn't a faux pas.
Right.
Or Desgra or whatever.
Yeah. Desgra. Yeah. This is Desgra to say faux pas. Maybe not. It wasn't a contraction. We'll let it pass. Freeborn.
So that is an artificial way to balance the game, but everybody has to be on the same page,
right?
And you have to be having a friendly game, because if points, real or imagined, are on the line, some people will just take advantage of it and then fight you, and then it becomes not fun.
Yeah, I'm reading the Tukiyid book now, and so many in each of the little short stories they say like Zellbringed is no longer applicable. It's focus fire because it's kill or be killed at that point. So I'd like to think if you're doing a close to clan invasion right before, right after like Tukiyid, then
they're done having the
they're done trying to get on her.
Then it's good to have your 12 armies so that you have an equivalent BV to go against 2 stars of clan mechs.
But yeah, so like I said, my biggest tactics changes would just be play to range for as long as I can, but don't get so defensive that you start losing your range advantage. Like they're starting to just walk up and start tanking shots. You are going to have to get aggressive. You are going to have to get around, get some rear armor shots, blow some limbs off early. I think you touched on this, Denham, but you can't always run a star, and that's a weird thing too.
Your binary got broken up, right?
Yeah.
So you got 3 omnis, and like I was saying earlier, I almost always take three mechs and 2 points of elementals. So,
or you're playing a mission where narratively, 1 or 2 of your mechs got lost or are on their own scouting thing because of resources, and this is all you have.
Yep.
You 3 plus you elementals go off and do that while you 2 are on some other side mission.
But Josh, I guess sometimes you can run a star, or is that kind of the end of that segment? I feel like there's much to say on that.
It's just one of those weird things that I think so many BattleTech people get locked into, that if I am Innersphere, I take 4, and if I am Clan, I take 5.
I admit I was stuck on that for so long, and it wasn't until very recently that I suddenly was free of that, where I could say, this is going to be, a 3-on-7 battle, which
weird.
But I'm totally fine with it. And once again, I love that they included 2 points of elementals in the new box set. Like that just,
nothing makes you learn the rules like actually having to use the damn thing.
Exactly. So. Do I buy these? I don't know how they work. I'm not going to bother. Oh, I have these. Let's throw them on the table and see how they work. Oh my God, I love these.
I mean, really, as soon as you get the rules under your thumb, you're like, man, elementals are great.
Yeah.
They really are.
I think that was one of the best decisions they made.
Yeah. So we brought some lists tonight, some examples.
So I challenged you guys to make a 6,500 BV2 clan list that you would play against a normally Inner Sphere opponent, but occasionally just a quick clan game, essentially.
Yeah.
Josh, you're a monster. Why do you hate me?
I mean, you both should know why I both hate you.
Challenge accepted is what I meant to say.
You are going to a game and you have 6,500 BV to play with, and we were going to see who could bring the best list, and I was going to run the simulations and put them in a Megamech, play them against each other until there was one clear winner, and then we would decide if we really liked that person's list, and if not, what we would change. So right now the thought is bring a buffet of mechs and see what comes up on top and what we would actually bring. So Denham, why don't you start with your list?
My anchor for this one was the Loki B with a 3/4 pilot as mobile elemental support. There was the Dragonfly Prime, also with a 3/4 pilot. I was running out of points rapidly by then. So I did bring the Clint 2C, which I like.
Hey.
But since he is not a clan frontline mech, I felt justified in giving him a 4/5 pilot because I've gotten better with a lot of things. But if I have an omnimech without a 3/4 pilot or lower,
it's going to make your head explode.
It still feels wrong. But I do not mind putting out C or 2C variants with 4/5s. And then to support that, because I was very much out of points, I put in 2 points of elementals that used flamers instead of the lasers.
The lasers.
And I would talk to my opponent about adding the optional rule of flamers doing both damage and heat. But if not, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I could go either way. But that was my list, and I will talk about specifics after everyone else has their say.
I will say that while reading the Two-Keyed book, and I know it's like my go-to now for lore reasons.
It's a fantastic book.
Josh has that books.
The Ghost Bears throwing their bondsmen, their Inner Sphere bondsmen. Like, we've lost so many of our frontline warriors. We'll now throw our bondsmen into our omnimechs because we have more mechs than we have men at this point.
Oh, no kidding.
And how did the Ghost Bears do on Two-Keyed?
Tie? They tied 1-for-1. But yes, so that is an Inner Sphere pilot, which he probably was not a 4/5, but everyone assumes that every Inner Sphere pilot is a 4/5, and he was running a Mad Dog. So I do not subscribe to the omnimechs can only be piloted by a 3/4. It is not a hard requirement.
I know it's not. Like, in my brain, I know it's not. But,
and I can point to lore reasons where it's not.
But my heart says no.
So what about you, Dustin? What was your list?
Since we were talking about 4/5 pilots and omnimechs, my list has 3 omnimechs with 4/5 pilots in it. 6,500 is a little more than I'm used to playing with. I'm usually making my Batchallin on a budget list at 5,000, 5K, because that's what we play a lot here in our local meta.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I brought my Gargoyle Prime. I was able, with the extra battle value, to upgrade that Ice Ferret to a D, which is that monster with the 4 medium pulse lasers. Yeah. And I have never put a Mad Dog on the table, so I can't really say much about it, but the Mad Dog B is cool and is worth 2,284 battle value. Like I said, I always think of my lists from the 3 mechs and 2 elementals, so I got 2 points of elemental laser infantry, and I probably did a little bit of math wrong because I'm not sure that those are 447 battle value per point.
Nope, they're 4/5. I did the math.
Yeah, yeah. So I made my list in a bit of a hurry, so I came out at 6,368 points, all 4/5 pilots and elementals. That's my list. I feel like the Gargoyle and the Ice Ferret can kind of do a little bit of dictating of engagement. Mad Dog B is going to hang back, and the elementals are going to go down that Ice Ferret and that Gargoyle, most likely.
I didn't say, but I like Denham's list.
Yep.
It's very front-loaded and not going to miss. Yours has a lot more armor than his.
Yep.
But you both have two points of elementals, so...
And so we were talking about bringing elementals, and it looks like you didn't bring any elementals.
I brought no elementals because elementals would scare a brand new Inner Sphere player. What are these little guys on this hex? That's wrong. No, you don't do that.
No, you brought no omnimechs either.
I brought no omnis. I only brought 2Cs and C variants, so I have no capabilities of any battle armor riding on me, and why would I commit to it then? I went with mechs that you could get in the Kickstarter. I got a Marauder C, a Rifleman C at a Gunnery 4 and Piloting 4, a ShadowHawk C pilot at Gunnery 4 and Piloting 4, and then an Urban Mech 2C and a Jenner 2C, which...
The Marauder, Urban Mech, and the Jenner are 4-5?
Yes.
Okay.
So I like all those mechs. So yeah.
I was like, this is a list that I could see an Inner pilot playing. The clan player just like, this is your list, and just like scooping it up and be like, this is my list now, and then shoving clan tech into it. My goals for this were to have a lot more armor, a lot more tonnage. Like when I look at it, this is 255 tons to your 155 tons.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of mech. So like I said, my list was, let's go all armor, let's go all tonnage, and let's just make the Intersphere pilot wonder who he's actually playing. Is he playing an Intersphere game or is he playing a clan game?
This is great because this was my first... I played, we did a role reversal. I remember this game a long time ago. And I was like, no, you play the clan this time and I'll play Intersphere. And you're like, okay. And then you showed up with an Intersphere list.
I showed up with Intersphere mechs using clan technology.
Exactly. Yep. You had a Piranha in there, and I took the standard play sheet, right? So I was like, I'm playing Intersphere, so I'm going to rush your mechs. And you're like, actually, I brought Brawlers too.
Yeah. I think my favorite part of that is we both took Highlanders. You took a regular, and I took the clan version of the Highlander.
Yeah, and I hope we had a Highlander duel. I don't remember. It's been a while.
We did. It was worse than we thought, though. It's who hits with Gauss first.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I ran this through the simulators, aka Megamech AI versus AI, for I think three games per each, and I round robin it. So
I immediately have an objection to this, but
do it.
Me too.
So
I think Princess is stupid with elementals.
Yeah, Princess is stupid. And that's why I was like, let's just see. Like, and I was looking at the results, like, okay, what is bad? What does the AI not do?
Right.
Yeah. This was just in place of us not being able to get to the table during the holidays,
right?
And playing 3 games of Megamech would still take 3 hours probably at this level.
Can you just like hit the next button over and over again?
No, you just put two AI teammates
and you read the results.
Yep.
Nice.
So I've been doing a lot of this to try to see like, okay, what does the AI do? Because it still gives you all of the results at the end. It gives you who kills the most. So you just disable
highlights.
So highlights were the elementals do work at 6.5. Really? Yes. No, like everyone who took elementals was getting at least 1 kill per elemental because they swarm and the other opponent just has no good way to get them off.
Oh, no kidding. So I guess I have to take it back a little bit. The elemental Princess used elementals correctly and well, I guess.
Yeah, Princess may have used them correctly, but not the way that I would have used them. Yeah. That's my problem.
Yeah.
So how did we do?
How did we do? Yeah, how did our list do in the simulators?
So mine beat Denham and Dustin's at 2-1 odds.
Okay.
Dustin's won 50% of his.
Hey, sounds about right.
Yeah, and then Denham won a third of his games.
Virtual Dustin does about as good as regular Dustin does.
I mean, if you're shooting for 50%, that's pretty good.
That's what I try.
Like I said, the things I can infer from this are it was really just luck. Like I watched these games roll out, and a lot of times my heavy mech would just get alpha down right out the gate.
Your Marauder?
Yeah, the Marauder was always the first one to die.
Did the Urban Mech 2C kill everybody?
The Urban Mech 2C did not kill everyone, but it did get several kills throughout the simulations. So
I mean, it can actually move. It's not a 2-3. It's a 3-5.
It's a 3-4. Yeah. It's a 3-5-3. I think.
Like it felt really weird to take it.
Yeah, but
I was like, it does have 2 tons of Ultra AC, so that's 10. That's 10 turns of double tapping.
Brap.
Yeah. The Jenner 2C did a good at killing elementals, which I thought was a good purpose.
What is the 2C pack?
2 SRM 6s and a Streak SRM 4.
Oh, so
yeah, that would do
more
it.
SRMs.
Nice. That'll do it.
That'll do it.
I mean, especially if you put Infernos in the 6s, it'd be even worse.
The Rifleman C of mine definitely made the holes with the 2 large pulses and then 2 LB5s. And I just left it on slug. I was just like, that's fine.
Clan large pulse laser OP.
And the ShadowHawk just kind of ran around trying to distract. And like I said, the Marauder always went down first. It didn't survive any of the games, but when you have 2 large pulse lasers, 2 mediums, and Ultra AC5, you kind of are prioritized.
On mine, like one of those elemental points would stay on the Hellbringer, and one would be on the Dragonfly. Because, I've only got 2 that can carry.
Mm-hmm.
But if, 'cause Dragonfly deposits them. The Clint runs around and just, messes with things. He uses the LB10X and LBX mode, which compensates for his 4 gunnery, brings it down to 3.
There you go.
The Dragonfly would go drop elementals off and then come back and pick them back up like the second setup of the Loki, unless everyone's charging, in which case the Loki would keep the elementals on for
Dragonfly.
Extra armor.
That is something I've not seen in a game, is somebody drop off a set of elementals and be like, all right, I'm getting your friends.
Yeah, and Princess doesn't do it either, so.
Yeah, I mean, this was the inherent problem with the simulation, but I just wanted to see, okay, is more truly better? And when you're all doing
results if I am not physically commanding the troops.
Yeah. The way I thought of it was, would a non-experienced clan player.
Yeah. I accept them.
Like I said, I'm not gonna like run around with this as golden proof. Let me write my thesis that the C and 2C is superior to the Omni, but
you think this is bad? Wait till you hear my arguments if I happen to lose against Dustin with my Wasp versus Griffin.
But yeah, so like I said, I think the C variants are perfectly acceptable. I think most clan players have to get over that mental hump that they are just as equal as an Omni, especially if you are challenged to run a lower point game.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong, I don't dislike 2Cs. I just haven't painted any of them. So don't they will be there one day, and I'll have experience with them. I like them. They got character.
Yeah. Yes. See, for me, any duplicates that I got during the Kickstarter, like any duplicate clans go to the Intersphere, and any duplicate Interspheres go to the clans. So this is my way of perfectly balancing all the forces.
There you go.
My biggest mental hump right now is putting inferior pilots into my omnimechs because
the 4/5s
just don't want to do that.
Just can't.
Well, I did 2 4/4s, which probably wasn't super worth it, but
hey, it helps those PSRs.
It does help the PSRs. Like I said, I thought the Marauder, I correctly inferred that he was just going to die first. So let me do the Rifleman and the ShadowHawk at 4/4, and they stayed alive longer. I want to hope because of it, and it does kind of infer that they are the slightly more elite pilots.
Yeah.
So will you be taking any 2Cs or Cs in your clan games, Dustin and Denham?
Oh, I took a 2C in my list, so I've always liked a lot of the 2Cs and regular clan mechs. I just don't have that much experience with the C variants, which I've got an open mind. I'll take those.
What about you, Dustin?
Yeah, anything that's cheap, I'll throw it in there.
Anything that's cheap.
Cheap.
And like I said, with this, I was able to get 5 mechs. Like I could easily get rid of the Jenner or the Urban Mech and put in an Elemental or just bump piloting skill. So now it's a 4-on-4, which I could see a Star Colonel, my 4 worst pilots against your 4 best pilots.
I would love to see your list, Josh, with an elemental point that can't ride on anything. So it's going to slowly jump across.
I mean, he's going to be moving at Urban Mech speeds, which at this point is just okay.
There you go.
But yeah, I did run this against my regular Intersphere list, which is like I said,
lots of simulating.
Lots of simulating for today, in light of not being able to play any this week.
Megamech now has an option to take screenshots after each turn and turn them into an animated GIF to watch the battle.
What?
Yeah.
Do the mechs slide around?
They move around, like they burp, 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 like it's like a slideshow. Oh, it's awesome. Yeah, I did that recently.
Show me.
Yeah, show this to me.
Yes, sir, I will.
Game options.
I've got to find the stuff. I wrote it down. I wrote it down. Don't worry. I'll send
Classic
it to you.
Okay.
Mech UI issues.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But it's a cool feature.
Because I need to know about that yesterday.
Keep a hard drive with a lot of space because these pictures raw are big.
I mean, that's fine.
What's the name of the option so I can YouTube this real quick?
Client settings. We'll find it. We'll find it. Yeah, because I want that like yesterday. What was I going to say? But yeah, so I ran it against my Innersphere list, which is a Clanbuster Black Knight, Clanbuster King Crab with the Goss, an Exterminator, and a Crab. And it came down 50-50, and it either just eked out a win or it just got stomped. But 50% of the time I was doing okay. 50% of the time it was the Innersphere ruling the day. Yeah, the lack of elementals definitely I could see was the weak point of my list against Innersphere. A slower, heavier, upgunned, up-armored Innersphere, I should say. Now that we've seen what the list can do, I think the best of all the worlds is one Omni, one 2C, one C, and an Elemental or two.
I love the Elementals.
So I don't think all Omnis at this point level is great. I don't think all C and all 2C variants are great. So I would probably do a Gargoyle Prime with an Elemental, a Marauder or Rifleman C, just for some big guns, big tons, and whatever your favorite either Omni, 2C, or C variant is for the last one. And then you've got a star that can do a little bit of everything.
A Timberwolf with no legs. That's got to be worth -.
Why is the Timberwolf so expensive?
Because it's awesome. It's the best.
It's a killer.
It is. It
thing's
is super efficient.
Max armor, good speed.
I mean, you got LRM 20s with the right amount of ammo to dump it all as your closing range, and then you've got your ERs, that medium pulse,
or even better, the A variant, where you've got the SRM6 streaks that are either everything or no ammo is wasted.
Yeah,
and then you've got the medium pulses and the ER PPCs, which their ranges match up so well, so that it's almost always the same.
Denham's like my A variant.
Dude,
give me my A.
It's expensive, and that's why.
Yeah,
it's good. It's really expensive. It's so expensive.
I'm imagining that meme with the crystal ball. Oh my God, I see you in a room with a lot of battle value. Jesus, that's a lot of battle value.
Yeah, so a Mad Cat B, ShadowHawk C, a Fenris D, Urban Mech 2C, and an Elemental Battle Armor is 6430. You've got Elementals that can ride on. You've got a 5.8 in the ShadowHawk and the Timberwolf, and then you've got the 2C for the Slow Boy, just double tapping a ultra autocannon. And then you've got your quad medium pulse Fenris running around dodging stuff. So
I was looking at the
and that's
discount.
210 tons. So that's nicely in the middle.
Yeah,
that's good. I was looking at the discount Omnis that we were talking about. Just running numbers real fast. At 3-4 pilots for the the favorites of the group, 3-4 ran at just under 99 or 9,900 battle value. So it was almost 10K. But if you bumped it down to 4-5, it was almost exactly 7,500. But the interesting thing when I was looking at it is that the difference between the lightest and the heaviest, which was the Gargoyle, was only 100 battle value. It was exactly 100 battle value was the difference between the heaviest and the lightest. So that's the problem with the clan mechs, is that they're all
the same price.
They're all the same price.
Yep.
The light ones and the mediums, they're all so expensive if you get any that are any good.
Do you think that was just because the BV2 system was kind of designed to balance them, or?
I think the BV2 system just shows that clan tech is all expensive, and when you've got a platform, I don't think the tonnage matters that much. If you put the same types of weapons on there with the same rough speeds.
Well, it makes sense too, because you get all your Indo steel and your ferrofibers, so you're not wasting crits anymore.
Yeah, the box set. We looked at that with the box set. 4 out of 5 of the mechs were almost exactly 3,000, just over 3,000, and the only one that wasn't was the light mech, and that was also over 2,500. They were all roughly in the 3,000 range, like each one of them.
Yeah.
And then elementals, a point of elementals is either a javelin or a commando in price. Yeah, clan mechs are OP.
Clan mechs OP. Please
Clan mechs
take 2
OP.
season Cs. But yeah,
Well, I don't mind using them. I'm not one of the grognards. It's like 30-25 or die. No, like clan mechs are fine. They're awesome. I'm actually super excited about figuring out this whole battlefield support point thing. I want to find a good ratio of support points per battle value, because we had so much fun with the clan mechs coming in and the aerospace fighters strafing and the artillery coming in. It didn't feel overpowered. It didn't feel
cinematic.
cheesy. It was exciting, and it felt like an inner sphere unit who is fighting for their life against these alien invaders.
one thought that I had on my list was mine is like the airplane, like feeding the child and like pretending like it's the, hey, let's play a 6.5K BV game. And it's like, okay, cool. What are you bringing? I was like, bringing a Marauder, bringing a Rifleman, a ShadowHawk, a Urmech, and a Jenner. And they're like, okay.
What do I get? You get all of these.
Yeah, you can take whatever you can. Like, you don't even mention you're playing clan. Then you show up and you're taking all C variants. And they're like, wait a second. This feels like clan.
Yeah, I got my kids to, because my kids play a bit. They were running like the beginner box set at the store for brand new people and kids who were at Hangar 18. Mm-hmm. So they know how to play.
You want to send us home, Dustin?
Thanks for listening to our episode today. You can reach us at the Mechbay podcast at gmail.com or send us a message over at the Mechbay podcast on Facebook. Join us on our Discord, the Mechbay podcast Discord. You can find a link in the show notes. Send us any questions or comments or questions you want us to answer.
Yeah. I think next time we'll be moving the timeline up a little bit. I think...
Gasp.
Yeah, right? I think... Do people play after the clan invasion? Is that a thing?
They
Do
certainly
people play in the clan invasion?
Play after.
I'll see you in the dark age, baby.
Yeah.
Well, we got a couple things to go through there. It's like, wait, the Inner Sphere have omnimechs now?
Ooh.
So stay tuned, everybody.